Gi-hun's story concludes in the third season of Squid Game on Netflix. With little else to lose, he was coerced into playing the games. After making it through the first round unscathed, he returns for round 2 with the intention of destroying it from the inside out. It becomes clear in Season 3 that the games are far larger than everyone anticipated, and Gi-hun is still on the losing end of the battle. Although it ends on a sad note, there is much anticipation for the upcoming seasons. Squid Game is among Netflix's most watched series, so the announcement that this is the final season seems strange. On the other hand, things change drastically when it comes to originality. Warning, spoilers follow. In television land, a show either dies as a hero or remains ordinary for too long, tarnishing its reputation. Many once great shows have sunk into the pitfall of maximizing profits at the expense of quality. To the contrary, Hwang Dong-hyuk had no interest in repeating the process with Squid Game. In an increasingly commercial and socially stratified world, the writer-director's own financial woes served as inspiration for the film. From its inception in 2009 until its 2019 acceptance by Netflix, the story's creation and subsequent completion required a great deal of time and effort. However, upon its release, it became an enormous smash. Despite the rapid order for a second season by the streaming provider, the third season was revealed to be the last before it even premiered. Seasons 2 and 3 were basically just two halves of a single story that ran concurrently on screen. But they split up on purpose so the program could reach a wider audience and create a larger splash. Hwang was uninspired to produce Season 4 despite the superiority of the second. According to him, the idea of carrying on with the story had been considered but rejected. Additionally, he mentioned that just because there are a lot of unresolved issues in Season 3, it doesn't imply they have to be resolved. This is, essentially, the end of the story. Since Song Gi-hun's story was beginning to burden him, Hwang also decided to end it here. While filming the pilot episode of Squid Game, he reportedly chipped 8 or 9 teeth. At the end of the previous season, he had lost 2 additional teeth. Because filming the series has taken a toll on his health, Hwang wants to prioritize his well-being for a change. In addition, the 3-season plot is tailor-made for the program, and it would be ill-advised to ruin it by developing an extra season that doesn't belong. However, this does not indicate that the Squid Game universe will not return. Hwang Dong-hyuk may have wrapped up Squid Game for the time being, but he certainly isn't ruling out returning to the globe in some other capacity. The real-world events that transpire in between the games, as well as any spin-offs or other aspects of the universe, are of particular interest to him. He claimed to have a faint idea regarding the 3-year interval between Seasons 1 and 2, during which Gi-hun searches for the recruiters. He added that it was important to have a portrayal of what the recruiters or Captain Park, Dalsu, or officers or masked men were doing during that time, not in the gaming arena, but in their lives outside of it. He has given it some consideration, so he has some thoughts floating about that could be explored more when the time is right. However, at this time, Netflix is focused on something else. An American remake of Squid Game starring David Fincher is reportedly under production in 2024, according to the streaming service. We got a taste of this new realm of possibilities at the end of Season 3 of Squid Game, but there haven't been any details disclosed about the project's plot or actors yet. 6 months subsequent to the games, the frontman travels to Los Angeles to distribute Gi-hun's funds to his daughter. On his return, he spots an object that resembles the subterranean setting at the beginning of Squid Game. A recruiter is actually engaging in a game of darkgy with a potential game changer. Before the mysterious man departs, the frontman and the recruiter, who is played by Cate Blanchett, exchange brief glances. Here we can see how Squid Game is adapted for the American audience in this little clip. It reveals that there are numerous new plotlines and characters ready to be introduced in the spin-off, even though we may not be returning to Song Gi-hun's realm. Every time a man fails to flip the envelopes in their game of darkgy, the Squid Game recruitment game, she strikes him. From the looks of this picture, production is already underway on the Squid Game spin-off rumored to be set to premiere on Netflix in the US. The new series may or may not feature Cate Blanchett. Nonetheless, the final scene gives the impression that she plays the role of saleswoman. The US version of Squid Game is likely to feature a famous actress, such as Cate Blanchett, playing the role of the saleswoman, given that Gong Yoo is among the most famous actors in the film. Until Netflix makes official pronouncements, the future of the Squid Game franchise remains uncertain. Cate Blanchett's potential involvement in the spin-off adds intrigue to the remake, which is already a challenging undertaking for popular series. For a long time, the frontman was pretty much the show's antagonist. The later half of Squid Game, however, shows that even In-ho was a hopeless player in the past, hoping to improve his family's lot in life. His urgency transformed into indifference as he began to doubt that the games would rescue him rather than harm him. He became enmeshed in the system and lost touch with reality, demonstrating how easily the weak may be manipulated by those in power who offer power in return for their morals and ethics. Story beats like In-ho's and those of other characters show how moral decay is usually gradual and motivated by survival rather than suddenness. In contrast, the story of Gi-hun and his final sacrifice demonstrate how a single actor may shake up an oppressive system and cause waves of change. Squid Game is a spoof on the assumption that people in capitalist systems have free will. It makes people feel that they can control their own destiny and earn a large sum of money, just like the players do, but class and inequality prevent them from doing so. There is no Squid Game Season 4. The series has concluded with Season 3, which was confirmed to be the last chapter. Earlier, in an interview, creator Dong-hyuk confirmed the fate of the series. He said, after watching Season 3, some may think there's room for a Season 4, while others may feel there's no need for one. However, he clarified that Season 3 is the final chapter and more seasons won't happen. While the creator ruled out the possibility of Season 4, he did leave room open for spin-offs in the Squid Game universe. He said, "I have considered the idea of a spin-off. There were moments during production when I grew curious myself.